Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back. It is Military Monday. Like I told y'all, I was going to try to find more veterans to interview so they could tell their story, and maybe you can learn something about, what it is to be somebody who's actually served this country. With me today is a very special guest today. You know what I'm saying? I've known him for quite a few years, but I'll let him introduce himself to you guys. So take it away.
How you doing, YouTube channel? This is Sgt Faison. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran. Proud to be here today.
That's the shortest interview beginning that anybody ever said, but it works for me. All right. Where'd you go to boot camp at? We'll start there.
Okay, 2011, went to Parris Island Marine Corps Base in South Carolina.
Now, I heard that Parris Island is not the only boot camp.
No, they have
for Marines.
No, it's not. Marine Corps has two bases, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. Parris Island's on the East Coast, and I believe it's San Diego is the West Coast one.
What was it called? I just said it last night because it sounded like the word in Camp Lejeune.
No, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina.
Yeah, I thought it was, it sounded like one in San Diego.
No, the one in San Diego. I can't remember right now.
I think the SEALs trained at that base too.
Yeah, I think it's Miramar.
Miramar?
Yeah, I think it's Miramar, I believe.
Oh, okay, doggy. And how was Parris Island for you?
It was a wake-up call. Arrived there, I believe it was at 2 in the morning. One way in, one way out. It was a culture shock. I promise you, it was a culture shock.
They say it's, let me see. I was a medic with the Marines. And I would say Navy was pretty laid back. The Army, depending on what branch you did. Now, if you come out of Benning, they said that was the equivalency of Marine Corps training. Called Benning boys is crazy as crap. And most people say, Marines is just hardwired different.
It's the top of the line. It's the best of the best. Marine Corps always.
I won't say that, but
no, like I say it was a culture shock, but I guarantee you, it's a standard that's not so high. Once you go between them two doors, you never come back out the same doors that you went in. It's just the culture. It's just the camaraderie. It's just the thought of saying you're a United States Marine. There's nothing else better than that.
Unless you go special ops.
It's still not better.
You crazy. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to get to that in a minute because we can debate that one. But speaking of camaraderie, have you actually had any interactions while you were in with any Army?
Yeah.
All right. So with the Army, they are big on camaraderie. So E9 will sit down and chop it up with E1, 2, 3, and it won't be a problem. Whereas in the Navy, you'd be lucky to get an E9 and talk to an E4. So I was trying to see, is the Marines like that? Where
the higher ranking, they will sit down and talk to the younger ranking Marines.
Not about business.
But it's a fine line, because it's a business, and you can't really mix business with pleasure too much. But you still have to be able to know your people you work for, know the people that work for you. You still have to have fun. It's a family at the end of the day. I don't care what uniform you have on, what colors you have on, regardless of what. At the end of the day, it's still the United States Marines, the United States Navy, Army, so forth and so on. It's all the ways of family.
Yeah, that's true. To this day, I tell anybody, if you ever wore the uniform, you are my brother or my sister, regardless of what it is. But going back to what you just said, with special ops. Now, I have dealt with special ops. I was with the SWIC. But I've dealt with them. Special ops, don't get me wrong, Marines, they get some good toys to play with.
That's an understatement. Marines, we work with whatever we give. we have the lowest budget in the armed forces, but we make the best, and we get the job done with the lowest.
Actually, y'all might got the lowest budget, but a lot of the equipment when it comes to combat, y'all got top notch. Y'all use top notch. Y'all don't use, say, what Special Ops use, because Special Ops budget is like limitless. But like y'all are just a tier below them as far as the equipment that y'all use.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, with Special Ops, any of the equipment that saying the regular grunts or whatever you want to call it use, Special Ops had their hands on it first, and then it trickles down to Marines, then Army, and so forth.
Got it.
So you had your boot camp at Camp Lejeune. Then
no, boot camp was at Paris Island.
Paris Island, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Paris Island. I was thinking Camp. Oh, why?
A lot of people call it A school or secondary school. Yeah, secondary school was in. I went to Camp Lejeune. Well, then I went to Camp Judson, which is also in North Carolina. Stayed there approximately about 8 months.
I ain't never heard of Camp Justice.
No, Camp Judson.
Judson. I never heard of Camp Judson. Camp Lejeune.
It's all in the same area. It's really technically they're almost really the same base. It's just right down the road from each other.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So when everybody talk about it, you only hear that one, but yeah.
Camp Lejeune. Because I've been on Camp Lejeune, but
yeah.
never do like Camp Justice.
So besides that one there, like I said, went there as an 0311.
What's that?
Oh, that was with the infantry. That's what I went.
Infantry.
Yeah.
Well, everybody infantry and Marines, pretty much.
Oh yeah, that's the base. Everybody built off of it. But I enjoyed it. I mean, really did. Let me see. There, it was another step. You thought that you had a experience at Paris Island, but Paris Island really is just the core of breaking it in. When you go out and learn your specialty, you learn your field, learn your school, your trade, it's a whole different meaning. Now you really feel like Paris Island, you felt like you was nobody until the last couple stages. That's when they was building you back up to become a Marine. Now, you at school, there's nobody telling you what to do with your school. You all on your own. Now everybody really come together, doing what you really signed up to do, building bombs, shooting everything, throwing grenades, jumping out of the airplane, out of helicopters. It's just that the school bring the inner kid out of you. It's like what you see on TV. You're like, oh, I get to do it now at school. So to me, school was a whole lot better. I enjoyed it more than I did boot camp.
That's funny. I enjoy boot camp. Well, nobody enjoys it at the beginning, but I was saying that last little bit, boot camp became fun because like a lot of your DRs, you know what I'm saying, they actually kind of relax on you and start boogie jiving and bullshitting with you a little bit. But how's the Crucible for you? The Crucible, yeah.
The Crucible was tough, but I give a big thanks to the drill instructors that I had, because they built you up. So the Crucible really was more of an everyday thing that you already done in the past couple months. So it wasn't bad. They kept it interesting. Of course, from a country boy like myself, I wasn't from the inner city, so I'm used to staying up all night. I'm used to going through the bushes, playing in the water. So like I said, all that really was just another back weekend adventure.
Yeah. How did you deal with the bathroom situation? That's the one thing.
Bathroom situations.
You don't have to use the bathroom out in the woods and stuff.
That doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me. Like I said, that's coming from the country boy side where you go outside, take a piss, or you find a hole, you squat down in.
Yeah, see, that's the part I'm talking about right there. Like I can go outside and pee all day, but find a hole and squat my ass out in there, no.
It didn't bother me at all. I enjoy it. Like I said, it's stuff that you do on a daily weekend basis that you don't even think about. Now it's coming to a controlled setting. That's really basically what it was.
Yeah, but I ain't never popped a squat in the woods.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. If I fish, I at least had a bucket for it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's the same thing.
Not really. At least I'm sitting on a bucket. You talking about just swatting? No.
It's the same thing.
And then you did AIT or secondary school.
Yeah.
So where were you stationed at from there after that?
Okay, first I went to, let me think, let me get it right. My first secondary school, as I said, was Camp Lejeune.
Mm-hmm.
Because I signed up for infantry. I signed up as a tow gunner. After that, I done like, I want to say like 12 months. Maybe like a year, 13 months, year and a month, something like that, of training. Went to the fleet. That's when I was just, technically you always a Marine, but that's when, I'm a Marine status, Yeah. I'm in the fleet. I've been assigned to a unit. We humping and grinding, good a year and a half, 2 years, and that down. Like, okay, well, I want to pick up ranking a lot faster than what was going on. So I did a lateral move. I changed MOSs. Once I changed MOSs, then that's when I went to 0311. I left Camp Pendleton, California. That's all stationed at first. Flew back over. Went back to school. This time I went back to school to Camp Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's when I went to 3051 school. That was like about 8 weeks.
What's 3051?
Logistics.
Logistics. Okay.
Yeah. So some people call them box kickers.
Mm-hmm.
Logistics. But at that time, that was just it was picking up a whole lot faster. I became literally, my scores were so high. I became a corporal within maybe like 15 months.
15 months?
Yeah, about 15 months after of my lap move. Meritorious. Then a year after that, year and a half, I was meritorious sergeant. So. Yeah, so I was a sergeant within the first 3 years. After I did a lateral lap move, that's how fast it was picking up.
So infantry don't pick up rank really like talking about.
No, because I would like everybody to understand it's a stigma because everybody say, "Oh, Marine Corps, what you going to do? You want to go fight, kill, shoot? You want to go in a fight. You want to get down into it." So everybody pick infantry, grunts. I'm a grunt,
Yeah.
But for career-wise, that's not the move that should be made because it's so. Just think about it. You get your lateral lap move. I mean, you get your career, your ranking, basically by your score, right? So if you have to have it's the bar for infantry is 1,600 for anything else. For logistics, the infantry bar probably 2,200 points.
Yeah.
Score basically because there's so many people that's already above you. You can't move up until somebody gets out.
That's okay. In the Navy, that's how it was with corpsmen. And, I had to do the blue to green program where, because I got my E5 at the time. Where to get my E6, they only ranked one person, Navy-wide at that time. And I was at high tenure, so we were going to have to start pushing, start pushing people out because, I was at my 8-year mark, and I only made E5, but the ranking system was so bad. But I got to work with the Marines at the same time, and I enjoyed that. So, did the blue to green program, switched over to the Army because I said, don't get me wrong, I love the Marines, I do. That was some cool guys, but some of the stuff that they went through, I'm like, yeah, I ain't gonna do all of that. I just went Army.
But that's a good thing about the Marine Corps too. A lot of people they can't pick up ranking because of the certain situations. But if you're a Marine, if I want to go to the Army, Air Force, I don't have to go back to basic training.
It's not really a basic training that I had to go back to. It's called a warrior transition course. And all it is just switching your knowledge from this branch to that branch. Now, if I would have went Marines, I would have to go
back.
boot camp.
Boot camp, yeah.
But since I did Army, it's just like, okay, switch your knowledge over to this, and you're good to go. And that's what I did. So you went, logistics.
Yep.
And you were stationed at where?
I was stationed in Miramar, California.
You went back to California if you got logistics?
Yeah, went back. Which I love that. I love the East Coast. I love the West Coast of California. It's just a whole different vibe.
How was the, did you ever experience one of them earthquakes over there?
If I did, I couldn't tell you. You know, it didn't really, no, I don't think I did. If it did, it would probably be a small one. After that there, I had a chance to come back closer to home. Was it a good move? Yeah, it was. So I came back to Pass Island. And that's where I served at my last 2 years of the Marine Corps.
How many years you did total?
So I did a total of 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah, because I had to extend it because I did my lap move. 6 years total, but I had so many days built up, which I did 5.5.
So after you got out,
after I got out, the Marine Corps helped me out tremendously with the transition. The GI Bill is amazing. I went to school for free. I went to Heavy Equipment College in Georgia. That's where I got my degree, as far as any mobile heavy equipment you could think of, from locomotives to crane to bulldozers, and that's where I've been ever since.
Okay. You ever get injured while you were there?
No, I was fortunate, fortunate and unfortunate at the same time. Yeah, I would love to be deployed, get out there and fight, but during that time we was on the standstill and then nothing ever happened. So
you was in at a time of peace.
Yeah, so hey, we got in, served my country, got out without any injuries. That's a blessing. Thanks to God for that.
You can still sign up for with the VA. You know what I'm saying? So that you're in their system. And then like any hearing and so forth, so on, cause you did a lot of shooting. You can be seen about that in the VA.
Okay, yeah. I'll look into that, but yeah, I wasn't hurt anything wrong with me, so I didn't even try to pursue that option. Cause I know there's a lot of veterans out there that has PTSD, has things that's wrong with them that need to be seen about, but they don't know the right obstacles, they don't know the right avenue, and I don't want to take up somebody else's space for somebody that really needs it.
Yeah. Well, so we'll see. You got any stories you want to tell? Anything that you seen? Cause I know you. Let me tell you, I done seen some Marines do some crazy stuff, and it was kind of funny. And I know you had to, because you worked with them way more than I did.
Yeah, I did. But really, the stories it's one of the things where, like, when it was going on, like, yeah, it was funny, it was a good time, but now you're looking back at it, you're like, that's a stigma that I want to put on the Marine Corps.
Like, okay, I give you one, and I tell this story a lot. As a corpsman, I was in my office doing paperwork, and I had a Marine come to me and say, "Hey, Doc, you need to come see this. You need to come see this shit right here." And I get up and go in there, and he was really talking about shit. You know what I'm saying? And he passed, you know what I'm saying, a ball that was the width and the length of a Coke can. And I looked at him, I said, "You should have actually been in my office for me to get that out of you, or on your way when you got to me to tell me about you can't move. But for you to pass that without no help, like tell me a little something." But we had one that got drunk and tied a shoe to his wrists and ankles and jumped off the barracks because he was going to float down. Boy, he got hurt. Yeah, that was some wild stuff with the boy.
Yeah, so you see a lot of stuff in there. You see stuff that you'll never think about. you really, I don't know how they come up and fathom some of the stuff that they do in there. I just don't know.
So how's the gun range for you?
Oh, I enjoyed it. I wish it was a lot faster repetition, but I understand. You got that many Marines out. It's all about safety. Take your time. Learn the process, because I grew up shooting. You know, 30-30s and 270s, stuff like that. It's just, but you got city kids and kids that never, even country kids, never have a shot. So, you know, I get the whole concept. I really do.
Okay. So, if you had any advice to give to any of the younger fellas or women who are looking to go into the Marines or go into the armed forces, period, what would it be?